I wanted to talk about, the big thing that I want to talk about is the Nintendo Direct. That's the huge thing. The other thing that I want to talk about is sports, because I can't help myself, and that's what my life is sports. So this little thing is going on right now, or was going on, I should say, called the NBA Finals.
Yes.
The Knicks won. I'm shocked New York is still standing.
I know.
Have you seen any of the videos?
Oh,
Everybody and their cousin who lived in New York was out on the streets last night. It looks like pure mayhem. Even people who I verifiably know do not care about sports were out in mass, excited and celebrating.
Yeah.
And I will say it has given me kind of a little bit of pause at times, because there's so many bandwagon jumpers. And the hardcore Knicks fans are so toxic.
Did you watch any of the highlights from the game last night? Like with the that was done by ESPN?
No, I haven't watched the ESPN ones. No.
They were scanning, and it was Charles Barkley, who I love Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
They were scanning the crowd for celebrities, and they showed Sydney Sweeney. And Charles Barkley's like, Sydney Sweeney? I guess everyone's a Knicks fan nowadays. Like,
right?
He called it out, and I was dying.
The one that got me was Taylor Swift. When Taylor Swift showed up wearing a Stevie Nicks shirt, I was just like, what are we doing?
Do you know the story behind why,
Supposedly it's because she's going to get married
They're
at
getting
MSG.
married there, yeah.
That's the theory. The Swifties all say she's getting married in Rhode Island, and
Yeah.
everybody else says, no, she's getting married at MSG, and she was there scouting the venue during the NBA Finals. And it's like, way to make me hate you more, Taylor Swift. Like, on top of everything else, I didn't like you to begin with, because I've always found your music, while catchy, to be very... me. And then you go out and you date these men, and then you have these nasty breakups, and you're like, they wronged me. And I'm like, if this keeps happening over and over and over again...
What's the one thing
that's not changing, Taylor? And so then you have the whole thing with the Chiefs. That hasn't helped anything.
No.
And now she has like 2 private jets, and I'm just like, I'm recycling out of my ass to try and figure out a way to save the planet. I'm driving an eco car to try and save the planet. And Taylor Swift has 2 jets, so she can just go wherever she wants, whenever she wants, or have anybody go wherever they want. And I'm just like, how is this fair? And then she shows up at the Knicks game as the ultimate poser.
Yeah. That's why I love Finals MVP Jalen Brunson. His favorite celebrity that he hugs every time above anyone else is Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah.
Because he loves SVU, and she's been there for decades, and she goes to every game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he'll pass by Taylor Swift. He'll pass by all these, Charlemagne.
Yeah.
And he'll pass by all them, and he'll hug Mariska Hargitay.
I'll give Charlemagne this. He's an actual fan.
He
been
is
there
a fan.
forever.
Yes.
But, like, I'm so sick of Timmy. I'm so done
I'm
with
tired of
Timmy.
him too, especially with the whole Kardashian thing.
It's bad.
And Jenner or
and
whatever.
all the things he said about high class art.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, Tim. I think you got to work on your image a little bit, man. Or maybe just take a break. Dune 3's coming out. Maybe take a break after that.
That'd be nice.
Step away.
You got money.
Yeah.
You got plenty.
You don't need to be here right now. But it was just really fun watching, because I don't have any streaming services that play sports right now, which is kind of a problem. And so I'm literally watching a YouTube stream of the people outside MSG watching the game. And so you can hear the play-by-play in your ear, and then you're just watching these idiots crying and weeping. At one point, one guy, when it was like 90-88, he was like, we won, and there's still like 20 seconds left. I'm like, dude, you gotta shut up. Like, this is how you guys always blow it, is you have some idiot, one brain cell guy who is just like, we did it, and there's still time on the clock.
There is this is a small tangent, a famous video clip of Indiana Pacers versus Chicago Bulls in the playoffs when Larry Bird was the coach of the Pacers. Reggie Miller hit a 3 to put them up by like 2 points with, it was like 2 or 3 seconds left in the game. They were in Indiana, the entire place, players, fans, losing their shit. And Bird is just sitting there with his arms folded looking at the clock because he knows Michael Jordan's on the other team. And he had zero expression.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to understand. It's like, just like you're saying, dude, you still got time left. You can't.
I've lived through, much like millennials have lived through more once-in-a-lifetime
Well, you lived
events.
through the 13-second game.
I lived through the 13-second game and the Music City Miracle.
Yeah.
I was on both sides of the drought, okay? I was there before the drought, and I was there after the drought. There was a brief period in between during the drought where I was like, fuck this shit, and I tried to be a Chargers fan because they had Doug Flutie. And that worked for a little bit because LaDainian Tomlinson was compelling, and then he went to the Jets, and I was like, well, I don't really like Phillip Rivers. And Antonio Gates is cool, but he's like the only guy I like on the team, so I guess I'm just going to go back to being a Bills fan. And then I endured another like 10-plus years of the Bills being absolute shit. Taylor, this is what real fandom is. You don't just join the most popular big team as they're about to win a championship. That is the ultimate loser move.
That's what billions of dollars does to
like
somebody,
it just shows that you have no capacity. Like, not just her, anybody, because I've seen a bunch of people do this recently, who they couldn't name 3 Knicks players from 2 years ago. They don't know anything about the Knicks. They don't know when they traded with the Timberwolves for Karl Anthony Towns. They don't know anything about any of this stuff. But the Knicks are winning a championship, and so they got to jump on the bandwagon because everybody is so excited about it. And it's like the only people I want to hear about from the experience of Game 4, which was, if you haven't seen anything about Game 4, that might be one of the greatest games in NBA history.
That was pretty amazing.
It was. I'm not saying it is the greatest. I'm saying it's up in the top 20.
Well, it was the greatest comeback in playoff history in the NBA.
It was.
So.
People were saying that it was more devastating than 28-3, which I don't know about. I think that might be a bit of an overreach, but it was bad. It was rough. And just watching the actual fans of the Knicks who have been waiting for this for decades. My favorite was Larry David. When the guy goes up for the finger roll and misses it, and Larry David practically collapses.
See, I would put the 28-3 just because in basketball, your offense is always on the court.
Yeah.
Football, your offense is not on the field.
And can be held off the field.
And can be held off, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that would...
Yeah.
I know it hurts you to think that, but
I agree, because this is the thing. I will never miss a chance to hate the Patriots.
Yeah.
I will never pass up a chance to hate the Patriots. Side note, one thing that is driving me crazy right now in sports is the amount of people, I don't want to generalize and say female reporters, but people in general, who are my age, who grew up watching the Patriots. And the reason I say female reporters is because the ones that I'm thinking of all clearly had crushes on Tom Brady when they were in their late teens, early 20s. The way they fawn over the Patriots now. And like just the amount of Patriot fans I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Some female reporters more than others. If you know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Wink, wink.
And it's just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
God damn it. I'm so sick of hearing about the Patriots. Now people are talking about it like, I wish the Chiefs were bad and I would take the Patriots back. You don't know what you're saying. You have no conceit of what you're arguing for, okay? That's the dumbest, most asinine thing I've ever heard. I would rather be ruled over for 20 years indiscriminately than have to deal with 5 years of Patrick Mahomes. It's like, stop. Listen, I hate Mahomes too.
I didn't know Mickey Mouse was a fan of them.
Right? But like, these people are Mickey Mouses. They're so stupid. They say these things and they don't think about what they mean.
I gotta say, I don't really watch. I watch football still. I used to live and die basketball. I don't really watch basketball anymore because, for the most part, it's unwatchable because all it is 3-pointers. Everyone travels. Everyone double dribbles. It's
the Euro step makes me crazy,
dude. Some of like LeBron James can take 12 steps.
What is this? That's a travel.
Yeah, they don't call that anymore.
I also have not watched basketball my entire life. I have a passing interest in basketball. The biggest thing is that I can't find a team I like. I grew up liking the Kobe Shaq Lakers. And then once you get older, you're like, oh, the Kobe Shaq Lakers are kind of like, they're the Yankees, you know? And I'm only recently a Yankee fan. That's a story for another day. I never had a team in basketball, and that's still my problem. Every season I come in, I'm like, maybe these guys, maybe these guys, maybe these guys. And then it's just like, I don't want to be a bandwagoner, so I can't like the Warriors, even though I like Steph Curry. Am I going to like the Timberwolves? No, because that's very volatile, and it could go bad at any time. And I don't want to be a bandwagon jumper.
Yeah.
So then I have to like the Wizards. I'm not going to like the Wizards.
No.
They're constantly
Nobody
tanking.
likes the Wizards.
What the hell?
But like, I was a Celtic fan growing up. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I really appreciate and give Jalen Brunson, I think, is I'm so happy the spotlight's on him because, and I hope there's not like skeletons in the closet that are going to come out. He seems like the perfect face of any sporting entity on Earth right now.
You know the running theory with his skeleton?
No.
is that he is the East Coast version of Kawhi Leonard in that his salary is being paid through a shell company where he doesn't have to do anything. He just gets money. And that way they can pay him whatever they want and keep on under the cap.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. It is
That's the
Dolan.
running
He's
theory.
a piece of shit Trump lover.
Dolan is a menace.
He's a piece of shit. But when he got the job with the Knicks, Brunson, when he got traded to the Knicks and he signed his new contract, he signed it for $100 million less. He's still making like $120 million.
That's what I'm talking about.
But the $100 million that he didn't take because he said, "I want you to give that money. I want to build a team."
Yeah.
So my hope is that this is truly what has happened,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm always under the impression, and I know I'm going to give Tom Brady credit for something I know you hate.
He took
He
home
had
deals
said
all the
once.
time.
He said once where he was making far less, and he goes, "I'm still making like $10 million a year. If I can't live on $10 million a year, there's a problem."
Hey, we have a new one of those. It's Josh Allen. Josh Allen took a quote-unquote sweetheart deal in that he took $4 million less than the highest grade.
Like sweetheart deals nowadays, but that's what makes this sweetheart deal really stand out, because sweetheart deals nowadays, like the Mahomes, he took a deal for years. Now he's getting paid $500 million again, and it's like, no.
For the next 2 years, and then it's going to change again. Like Allen, the thing that I like is that Allen said, "I have my truck, I have my house, I have my wife. What else do I need?"
But that's the thing. It's like, why are these players asking for these $200-300 million? $100 million over 4 years. If you can't survive on that, I know you're going to get, say you get half of that. When everything's said and done, you get $50 million. $50 million is enough for you and 3 generations of your family to live comfortably without ever having to work.
Well, you run into the Latrell Sprewell issue. Do you remember when Latrell Sprewell...
How could I ever forget that piece of shit?
He was like, "I'm just trying to feed my family." Dude, you make... The reason for that, too...
him in Game 4, he was on the sideline with all the
former
Knicks, which...
He's a Knicks legend. But that statement, for anybody who doesn't know, it was in regards to the NBA was enforcing a dress code that basically said when you come to the stadium, you have to look good. You don't have to wear a suit necessarily, but you have to look good. You have to look put together. You can't look like, you just fell out of bed.
Yeah, like sweatpants.
You have to look good. And Latrell Sprewell said, "Well, then you better give us a stipend because I don't have enough money to spend on suits. I'm trying to feed my family."
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, you make like $10 million a year.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? There's been a lot of that lately, of the rich crying poor and saying,
It's always how it is.
"Well, I'm not liquid. Listen, all of my money is in investments. I'm not actually
then
a billionaire."
Then you're not rich. Then you need to fucking pay taxes on that
Yeah,
goddamn
exactly.
money.
Yeah.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
No, it makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. So, NBA Finals, if you haven't checked it out, Game 4 is really great. We're going to pull really quickly into the trailer park just for like 1 or 2 things. I wanted to mention Gato because Gato looks interesting.
It looks good.
It's a new Pixar movie about cats.
With different animation style than what they're used to.
Very different. I'm waiting for the turn where like the way I described it to Kelly was Soul, where you had this movie that was presented as like, oh, it's a musical piece about race and teachers and all these other things, and then halfway through it becomes a body swap story.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, when did this happen? Why is this a thing?
I didn't like that.
And Onward, where it's just like, what is the point of this? Where's this going? And just like a lot of these movies recently with Pixar, Elemental, where it's just what's going? There's this whole basketball game that happens.
It's too formulaic.
There's too many things going on, and they don't seem to correspond with each other. And I'm just waiting for with Gato, what's going to be the thing? What's going to be the thing where it turns out that this is actually about a long crusade with dogs?
Yeah.
Like what's going to be the thing that's going to happen? That's going to change the entire spin of what this story looks like. Because right now it just looks like it's a cute story about cats. And I'm totally down for a cute story about cats. But, like, I don't know. This looks kind of baffling to me in a weird way of just, like, I don't know enough about it. To the same degree, Dog Stars looks interesting, but I just feel like I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, great cast, great director.
It's a Ridley Scott movie with Jacob Elordi, who was Frankenstein, and
Margaret
Qualley, and Josh Brolin. And James Brolin. Wow,
I know,
dating
seriously.
yourself.
I'm dating myself.
It looks great. It looks like a spin-off of The Last of Us.
It does.
And I'm just left kind of being like, but what's the overwhelming threat of this?
Yeah.
Is this a virus? Is this a zombie? Is this an alien? The world is clearly ended, obviously ended. There's cults. There's this guy flying around with his dog in a plane. That all looks compelling. I'm a little concerned that the dog disappears halfway through the trailer when the action starts happening. That's worrisome. And so, like, I don't know enough about it. It looks really interesting. I guess I don't need to know what the fall of the universe was, but I feel like it would be more compelling to know, like, should I be expecting zombies? Yeah. Right now, all I see are just, like, the other humans that have survived. You know, the general survivors attacking each other.
The thing that kind of caught me wondering exactly what this is about is the main characters. You know, if this is a post-apocalyptic world, they kind of look really put together. Like makeup and hair.
He looks like he just walked out of Abercrombie.
Yeah. And it's like he's got the scarf, and it's just perfect.
He's got the patterned flannel leather jacket with the big ruffle, and his hair is just perfectly muscled. And
so it's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had just a whisper more information, because I'm interested in some elements of this. The idea of this guy in a plane during the post-apocalypse going from place to place, kind of stories of the post-apocalypse, that sounds interesting. It also still sounds a lot like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just going to be another one that was like, oh, he finds a cult, and then the cult tries to tries to bring him in, and then something happens, and either the cult's evil or it's not evil. We'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah,
and I want to know a little bit more. Like, when I saw the trailer for 28 Years Later, not only do I know what it is because of the branding, I know what it is because they show me what it is.
Yeah.
They show me that there are these monsters and that you are running from the monsters. Mm-hmm. And even if you had never watched any of the 28 movies, you would be able to look at that and instinctively know, hey, this is what this is what the pacing on it's probably going to be, this is what the characters are going to be, this is what the background's going to be. I just don't feel like I have enough of that here.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. We always talk about trailers giving away too much information. I just feel like I don't know enough in general to be, like, committed to it.
Yeah.
And
I've noticed, and this is, I'm going to give Tarantino credit for calling this out, I've noticed lately Ridley Scott movies the quality's really dipped, and it's guy's in his 90s, right? Or
he's
late
gotta
80s
be in his
or something.
80s.
Like he's old as shit, and it's like it's true because like you look at the recent Scorsese movies, it's like I think like the name Ridley Scott on a movie does not carry the weight that it used to. Maybe if he's in a producer role, but to be doing the day-to-day directing, his work has taken a massive hit.
That's what makes Disclosure Day so interesting, is that it's still Spielberg being Spielberg. If anything, it's Spielberg going back to
it is, but I've also
Spielberg
heard
trope.
Some of the negatives I've heard about Disclosure Day fall into the same thing.
Yeah,
where it's like it's Spielberg, but it's kind of fallen off a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm interested in this, but I don't know. I don't know. Ultimately, I can't commit myself to watching it simply because I don't know enough about it. Things I know too much about. I didn't know anything about this movie this morning. And then you said, oh, he looks like Mark Zuckerberg. Or he sounds like Mark Zuckerberg. And I was like, what? And I turn on The Social Reckoning. They're making a sequel to The Social Network. And it's Aaron Sorkin and everything. Yep. It's like the whole kin caboodle. It is a sequel to The Social Network.
Jeremy Strong plays Mark Zuckerberg.
And he sounds just like Mark Zuckerberg.
And he does look like an older version of him. So
almost
that's the only problem. Yeah, he looks too old, but his voice, it's fucking eerie.
It's spot on.
It's so spot on.
It sounds like AI.
Yes.
Like it's so on that it's incredible.
And so the whole movie revolves around the whistleblower that came out a few years ago that said that they know what they're doing to kids and to the world with their algorithms and whatnot.
And in fact, that they're leaning into it, that's part of their business model.
Exactly.
Which has always been the thing with Facebook. Hey, do you remember when Facebook's business model was move fast and break things?
Yeah.
Do you wonder why we're in the situation we're in now?
Yeah.
They broke some of the things that we weren't supposed to break.
And this is why I am not on Facebook, and my children will never.
I'm not on Facebook.
As long as they're under the age of 18, they will never be on Facebook.
I have a Facebook that's linked to my Instagram, and I go on Instagram. I'm so glad Instagram put back in guardrails. They have this thing that's like, hey, you've been scrolling for a while. And I'm like, thanks, Instagram. I'll leave then. Great. Thank you for the heads up. I don't want to be here either.
Yeah.
This is an addiction, and you are telling me you're cutting me off, and I appreciate that.
Well, I got off of Instagram too because people became too political and religious on Instagram. It's like that was the big thing on Facebook. It's like it's so much
Facebook
hate.
is a hellscape now.
Oh, it's horrible. The hate and the vitriol.
The two things that exist on Facebook are really, really, really bad AI garbage. Not even slop, full on garbage, and political views slanted by bad reporting.
Yes.
And incentivized journalism.
Yep.
And it's just like, I don't need any of this then.
Yep.
See ya. I'm out of here. But unfortunately, not enough people are like us and still cling to... I'm shocked at how many people are still on Facebook. Yeah. People that I really love, who I'm like, why in the world would you still use Facebook? They just find it too utilitarian.
Yeah.
There's too many upsides to using Facebook that they would have to abandon to get rid of Facebook. I've heard this from people about literally every social media platform. There's elements of social media that they cannot get without going to that specific social media.
But the sad thing is, what they don't understand is those are elements they don't need in their life. They feel like they need it, but they don't. And the only reason I'm saying that is I thought that.
Yeah.
I am 100% off of social media. I have zero social media. I do not miss a second of any of it. I don't give a shit. All the stuff that you think you're going to miss is stuff that you really don't know. Because the important stuff in life that you do need to know, you will find out.
Well, my experience with social media was the world hates me. And it wasn't the world hates me because it was outwardly telling me. It was the world hates me because nobody would ever do anything on my social media. I'd make posts, I'd say things, and no one would see it. There'd be no views. Or my mom would be the only person that liked it. And it's like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am I going out and putting my heart on the line and really caring about this only to have the algorithm make it so that nobody sees my post and there's absolutely no traction and I end up feeling unloved by the people who I know in real life love me because social media has tricked me into believing that I am unpopular simply because the algorithm says that I am not so much of a person that deserves to have my stuff seen by the people who actually are supposed to see my stuff. And it's just like, that was why I left. Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I putting my superhero stuff out there for no likes and no comments? Oh, wait, it's because it's not reaching anybody. It's not being algorithmically programmed to reach people. And the friends that I have 200 people that they like or follow. So there's just nowhere for my stuff to fit in. And it just algorithmically gets thrown off to the side and it's never seen by anybody. And I'm left being like, oh, I guess nobody likes my stuff. I guess I should stop making it because no one likes it. And it's like, that's bullshit. And that's the thing that everybody goes through. Yeah. And especially when you're in a incredibly emotionally vulnerable place, like your teens and early 20s, it turns out that can be outrageously damaging.
Yeah. Cyberbullying is the biggest push for kids in that very delicate stage that take their own lives. And it's like, no, these are idiots. Like I tried to, I'm happy my son... I've been very open with him about playing games online, playing like Fortnite online, turning off the voice chat if he's playing with other people. I'm like, because they're going to say shit to you.
And it's going to be mean.
It's going to be mean. And they don't know you. No. They are just jerks and assholes, and it makes them feel better about themselves. Yeah. But there are a lot of parents out there that are not giving that talk to their kids, and they're going on social media, and they're posting a picture of something they paint, and then somebody says, you're a terrible painter, fucking kill yourself. Yeah. How do you fucking deal with that if no one's there to help you?
Or you have something that's like, you're a woman. Yeah. In a man's scope. Of like, games, or something else that men have said, this is our clubhouse, and there's no girls allowed. Yeah. Okay, so you gotta get out, because there's no girls and there's no homers. And in Simpsons reference, if anybody doesn't know. But like, I look at this and I'm just like, this is the way that we treat each other?
That's why I love, there's a video game journalist named Alana Pierce. She's from Australia. Pierce, Yep. She became famous because back in the early 2010s, she was playing online, and this kid was talking about how he was going to rape her and do all this violent stuff to her. So instead of just like breaking down, she contacted his mother. Yeah. And said, this is what your son's saying. And holy shit, I was like, dude, you're an idol. Like, and she has severe depression and psychological issues, but she knew enough to say, I'm not going to fucking deal with this shit. But how many people have that like in them to fucking just say, I'm going to go on the offensive? Yeah. Because most of the people doing it are fucking think so low of themselves, and they have such low self-esteem that it's like they feel better doing that, and if you just confront them with it, they will crumble.
Well, not only that, the other problem is that they want to bring you down to their level.
Oh, absolutely.
The trolls want to rip you down, and it's like there are trolls, I'm realizing, at every stage of society. It's not just an online thing. There are trolls everywhere of just like, oh, maybe if I do this, I can fuck with somebody a little bit. It's like, why? What do you get out of that?
Yeah.
What joy do you get? You get like a small dopamine spike in your brain and goes, oh, I did a thing, oh. And it did irreparable harm to someone else. Oh, good for you.
That's why I love all these super conservative Christian, not only commentators, but politicians that go out of their way to own the libs and make the larger part of our society feel bad about themselves. And it's like, is that really Christ-like?
Yeah.
Is that what Jesus said? If they don't think the way you think, make them feel bad about themselves and feel like they should really not be alive.
And then they immediately turn around, and when those things are done to them, they cry foul.
Exactly.
And they say, you're being so mean. It's the same as, I love My Hero Academia, but there was an entire storyline where they tried to make the villains the heroes by explaining that they were just standing up for their own spot in society. And my point was, yeah, but your spot in society is inherently tied to the harm of other people.
Yes.
And so, therefore, I cannot abide it. We're not talking about, oh, you're not allowed to go in that store. You're not allowed to eat that thing. You're not allowed to go in that place. We're talking about, you're not allowed to hurt people because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Those are two wildly different conversations.
Oh, very different.
And it's just something that I feel like we've lost track of in modern America is like, hey, but you know that whole golden rule thing is about treating people the way you want to be treated, though, right?
Yes.
Like, you know that you remember that part, though, right? That was the whole thing. The rules go, as I recall, Christians, because I spent a lot of time in church, the rules go, love God, love your neighbor as yourself. I don't think Jesus stuttered.
Yeah.
I mean, I know 10 Commandments, but same diff. Guy's working off the same playbook. He's still running the same rules.
But now it's treat people the way you're being treated. And it's like, no. You need to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
So if you're being treated badly by others, you don't treat other people bad.
Yeah.
You treat people the way you want to be treated, which is good, and then that will end up reciprocating back onto you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, they don't get it.
So in short, The Social Reckoning looks...
I know this. That's what we like to call a tangent, folks.
It looks like an Oscar movie.
It was a deep tangent,
it looks good, but like at the same time, it's going to be severely depressing.
Yes, very much so.
Something that wasn't necessarily severely depressing, but left me kind of wondering about some stuff was the Nintendo Direct. There was the one big thing at the end that they said.
Yes.
And then there were a bunch of other things that kind of also got sprinkled in there.
This was a Steve Direct.
This was interesting.
This was a Direct made specifically for me.
Yeah.
Because it gave me the 3 Switch 2 upgrades for the 3 Xenoblade games.
Yep.
It gave me a new Xenoblade game coming out, Xenoblade Genesis. Gave me Fire Emblem's release date, which Fire Emblem was one of my favorites.
Yep.
Gave me a new 3D, 2D Final Fantasy game, which looks incredible.
I'll say this about that. It looks incredible. I wish they had done what they used to do for the cutscenes back in the day.
Oh, I see
you
what you're
remember
saying.
how it was
Yes.
back in the day.
Like
back
the PS1 cutscenes.
Back in the day, the way that it worked was that there was an understanding that the in-game graphics were going to be extremely limited because of the need for, data space. Yeah. You only have so much space. You can only make the graphics so good because of a bunch of different qualifiers. And so the game is going to look a certain way.
Yeah.
But then the cutscene starts and it looks dope as shit. Yeah. It looks so good and so polished, and you get to see what the characters would actually look like if you had the graphic quality that you would want to have.
Yeah.
This does the opposite, where it's like, these are the graphics. This is what it looks like. And then the cutscene starts and it's pixelated and it looks like it's on a RGB system, and it looks like it's on one of those old tube TVs, and it's just like, I don't know that this looks as good as you want it to look. And I grew up at the time when this was just how games looked, and there were ways that they compensated for that. I feel like you're leaning too far into this. You're not understanding what the the joy of the nostalgia is based in. The joy of the nostalgia is based in like, oh, this looks like the games I used to love, and now you're moving away from that actively by continuing to use that.
I can understand
Yeah.
that. I just the Xenoblade games, I did already download, so the first patch for the original Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition came out. I did download that. I still have to get in and play that again. But then spread out over the next few months, are going to be doing the other 2 games, 2 and 3, which 2 luckily ran like shit on Switch 1, so I'm excited to see what that one looks like.
Yeah.
I do have to, I know we're going to get into some of the games, so let's start. I see you have it pulled up.
I have it pulled up. I don't know anything about the Rhythm game, so I'm not even going to talk
Rhythm
about it.
Heaven,
I know
the fact that they did so long on that to start, I was kind of...
I have no idea what it is. Kelly told me it's a franchise. I was like, cool.
It was a big DS, I believe, is where it started.
Okay.
It was a big game on that, but it's like... To put 4 minutes to start your direct on it.
There were a few moments in the direct like that.
Yeah.
Of like, wow, we're spending a lot of time on
Which
this.
I get it. I understand not every game's for me. Not every game is going to be my liking.
Right.
But you want to... I'm big on you want to start something with something that's going to catch everyone's
I also
attention.
had that exact thought. When we were watching, I was like, this is a weird place to start.
Yeah.
Because it's before anybody even shows up on screen. It's literally the very first thing that you see is this long trailer for Rhythm Heaven. And you're like, okay, all right. And then the guys from Nintendo finally show up and bring you into the direct. But it's just like, and the first thing that they talk about is Pokemon. It's like, why wasn't this the first thing that you started with?
Pokopia is the biggest game in the world right now. Start the DLC as that is
Shouldn't
the
that
number
be
one
what
thing.
we talk about here? Is that you're coming out with DLC?
Either,
Another thing that Nintendo has sworn off of in a lot of games recently
they
is like,
have.
we're not going to do DLC
and
for this.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people are pissed with this because they're like, this is what they should have done with Animal Crossing back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm not saying they're pissed with this because they're excited to get this content.
They were disappointed that they didn't do this with Animal Crossing.
Exactly. But like even if they didn't start with Pokopia, my son, the one game where he jumped out of his seat and lost his mind was Wii Sports Resort.
This is something that I do not
Resort.
understand. So I'm excited for the game, and I understand why they did it this way, but I'm looking at you, Nintendo, and I'm asking, why did you have us spend $70 2 years ago on 6 games when you could have just made Wii Sports?
I think they added more games after the fact. For the first
They
Switch
added
Sports.
2 more games.
They added 2 more, that's
so
right.
So they went from 6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Which is still less than in the original Wii Sports. And they just came out with Wii Sports Resort. Because there was so much hype around the other one, the Switch Sports. They came out with what we all wanted out of Switch Sports in the first place.
The only thing I can think of is they did this because they wanted to follow that trend.
Oh, I'm sure.
Of sports and Sports Resort.
I'm just...
Because I did love Switch Sports, but it didn't do as well, which kind of blew my mind because it was pretty fun.
It was fun, but my issue is this can't be a full-price game. There is not enough game here to call this a full-price game. There's just not enough content within this game. This is a $30 game. This is not a $65 game. And then you bring out Wii Sports Resort, and you're like, this is what that should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know why you flip-flopped on this. Why didn't you just make Wii Sports Resort? Why didn't you just port over everything? Which they still haven't done. Kelly pointed out that they didn't bring back Frisbee with the dog, which was like,
dude, Frisbee was the best.
Fucking
oh,
loved.
I fucking love Frisbee.
So I don't know why they didn't bring that back.
Especially Frisbee Golf was the shit.
I don't understand why you're bringing
a
lot of stuff back, but not everything. You're fixing a lot of stuff, but you're not including everything. But then you have this weird thumb wrestling thing that is just like, when Kelly told me that they had thumb wrestling, I was like, that's cool. And then I saw the way that they do it, and I'm like, this is weirdly off-putting. The giant hands.
Yeah.
It's a little off-putting.
I
don't love it.
It's a little weird.
The mechanics of it don't work, and you have to do this.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like I'm just left.
Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be really good at that game.
I don't know, man.
So we had the Pokopia, which the DLC looks great.
It looks great.
My kids were losing their shit.
It looks great.
And I like the fact that they're giving you the free underwater, but then the actual town underwater is going to be paid DLC.
Part of the DLC.
I'm kind of curious to see what the DLC pack's going to cost.
Yeah.
I'm hoping $19.99 max.
$20 would be good.
$20 to get all 3, because I believe that's what the Mario Kart DLC was for the Wii U.
Yeah, for the 8.
So I'm hoping that's what it is, because $20, that's...
I can go up to...
I'd be all right.
I can go up to 30, but 30 is still asking
30's a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's asking a lot for what is essentially just a spin-off. And I love a spin-off, but again, the price has to be commiserate with what I'm buying. That was my issue with Wii Sports Resort.
Because that, if you do the $20, that would make Pocopia a $90 game, which nothing against Pocopia.
But
Kids
that's a
love
lot.
it. Everyone loves it. It's a lot for that game.
That's a lot. That's a lot for that
Especially, once again, a lot of people are using this comparison. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, if that's like an $80 game, you cannot say that like Pocopia with the DLC should cost a lot more than that. Because this game supposedly is going to be
enormous. And when you add in the online quality, it becomes almost endless.
Yes.
And, you know, I love Pocopia, but it does have a very rhythmic style of what you're doing.
Exactly.
I will leave everything about Xenoblade and Fire Emblem to you because these are two franchises that I don't really know anything about. Xenoblade broke my heart way back when it was Xenogears. And then when it turned into Xeno... what was it? It was Xenosaga.
Xenosaga.
I hated Xenosaga. Yeah. I was so excited for Xenosaga, and then I played it, and I hated it. And so ever since then...
Xenoblade will go down as the best example of what a talented developer, Monolith Soft, can do with crappy hardware. Because it started on the Wii with Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, and then the Wii U saw Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is still, I love Xenoblade Chronicles X. But then the Switch saw Xenoblade 2 and 3. The technical achievements they've been able to pull off on these. So that's why Xenoblade Genesis, I am giddy as can be. It's kind of the same feeling Pokemon fans are feeling about Wind and Waves.
Yeah.
What are these companies going to be able to do? But it's a little bit more for Monolith Soft because Game Freak has shown they will do the bare minimum to get a game out.
This is what we do now.
Monolith Soft will push a system to its limits. So to see what they can do with Switch 2 hardware on a game like Xenoblade Chronicles, it's not even Chronicles anymore because this is the Xenoblade Chronicles game line is officially done after 3. So this is a new start, hence the Xenoblade Genesis. They even said in the direct they're taking things in a new direction. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
And what's exciting for me, and I know it's exciting for a lot of people, is it looks like they're going to be using some of the tropes that they did in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which they're going to have some of the interconnections between schoolmates and different people you interact with and different relationships you build, but then you also have the massive open world adventure. Very excited for this. Mm-hmm. You know, Fire Emblem... I do love Fire Emblem. I'm very curious to see how this game looks. I like Three Houses. I didn't love how much it got into the, I'm going to call it the persona aspect of the game, to where you have this, I'm more in the turn-based battles than the, all right, let's see how my relationship's going, and I have to sit down and have lunch with this person to build up my... The best way they ever did that was, did you ever play Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS?
I've never played any
Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Awakening on 3DS is fantastic. And they introduced the relationship where you can have different party members, and if you can get them to get together, they actually have children, and those children grow up to become part of your... But they take on the traits of the parents. But the way they had the relationship, it starts with these really short conversations, and then that's how the relationship builds. It wasn't this long, drawn-out thing. And so I'm kind of curious to see how this Fire Emblem is going to go. I hope they lean more into just the combat, because the combat is what everyone loves Fire Emblem for. I've always been a big turn-based combat fan, and they do it the best out of anybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious about that. But those two are the two of my favorite franchises, so I'm very excited.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how this goes. Something I don't care about, Splatoon or Duskbloods. I don't
in Duskbloods, it's kind of frustrating. They didn't really show much.
They didn't show anything about it.
They showed 2 seconds, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to do an open beta, pretty much."
Until I saw that it was the From Software, I wasn't sure if this was the Dark Souls for Switch until I saw that, and I was like, "That's not good advertising."
But it's going to be more of like a looter shooters.
Oh,
and so where you have to go get something and take it out. And so I don't know how that's going to work in this universe. But
the whole thing with Donkey Kong was interesting. I found some of the decisions that they made about hiding it, where you have to go into the Switch shop and like look for it and then download it. I was like, this is weird. I don't know why you kind of buried it to make it a big deal. You can play Star Fox, the first level. That's pretty cool.
Which I did, and it's fun.
Yeah, it looks good. Kingdom Hearts, I've hated Kingdom Hearts since the beginning.
Yeah, I could give a shit.
I do not like Kingdom Hearts.
I do have to say the fourth game, I like how it they're bringing it into like the real
It's
world.
just Japan. It's just
It is, but it looks good.
Yeah.
But I could give a shit.
I don't care about Kingdom Hearts. They broke ever since they renamed Squall Leon and paired him with Aerith and Yuffie.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Like it's an interesting concept, but I never bought into it.
It's just stupid. All of it's been
never bought
bad.
into
Left
it.
is bad. Right is bad. All of it's bad. I don't care for any of it. Something I do care about is the long-awaited announcement that they are remaking Ocarina of Time.
Which unfortunately was spoiled before the direct, which sucks because I think if this wasn't spoiled and it came out, people would have literally lost their shit.
Yeah.
And it would have been the number one thing on the internet forever.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. I like this. I like the look of it. I was way more excited about it than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
I was so prepared, and then
The
it started.
look
I
of
got
Link,
really excited.
I need to see more.
I need to see more. My first thought was, why does he have baby legs? And then I was like, oh, he's a Kokiri.
He starts as a kid too.
No, I know he starts as a kid, but like he has like I've seen babies and I've seen 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
He has those baby legs of like real chubby, almost like rolls on his thighs. And it's just like, it looks great. Don't get me wrong. It looks great.
I'm going to say if they can stick the landing on this, this would go down as the greatest video game ever made.
It might be. I mean, like, people have literally been waiting since Ocarina of Time came out for this.
And I'll be honest, I have not been able to play Ocarina of Time because I didn't play it when it first came out on N64. I never really got into it. And then when it came out on 3DS, it was too much of that old school look and everything. Bad same with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
So my hope is like this is 2026 holiday season, Ocarina of Time, 2027 Majora's Mask. Like they did because once again they used, for those of you who don't know, when they made Ocarina of Time, a year later they came out with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much they took the exact engine and everything,
assets,
and just
everything,
changed a couple things.
All the people are the same.
Yes.
Like all the assets are the same. They just change the story.
Yeah.
And so I was also kind of wondering about that. It's like, do you do Majora's Mask as like a DLC or something?
I think they have
an
to
alternate ending, something like
they
that.
They gotta do something.
Yeah.
But
so I think that'd be interesting.
Like it looks so fucking phenomenal.
I'm really excited for this. Way more excited for this than I thought. I'm also remembering how much of a commitment Majora's Mask is, or Ocarina of Time is.
Yeah.
It's a long game, and some of those temples are very windy, very windy. Where am I going? And so, but that being said, I'm still excited.
There are a few franchises that can get me to put in that amount of time in Zelda's one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So